Now on GMU at 6, an avalanche kills 4 people in Utah's backcountry. Hear from the mother of one of those victims.
An incredible video of another avalanche from the weekend. Hear what the survivors say is the reason they're alive.
Good morning. More than 30 avalanches reported statewide over the weekend. Coming up, we are live with Craig Gordon from the Utah Avalanche Center talking prevention.
Plus, we're not only talking about avalanche danger, we're also talking about your upcoming week's weather. Any storms lurking? That's all coming up in Utah's most accurate forecast.
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Brian Carlson.
And I'm Sarah Martin at 6 a.m. on this Monday.
And we begin this morning with a deadly avalanche in Utah's backcountry. 4 skiers died up Mill Creek Canyon. It's now the deadliest avalanche in Utah in 29 years. Late Saturday morning, rescue crews got the call 4 skiers were buried in the snow while 4 others managed to dig themselves out. Unified Police say the 4 skiers who died were experienced skiers in their 20s. ABC4 News spoke with the mother of this victim, one of the 4, who says her daughter Sarah loved the outdoors and tried to spend every weekend on a new adventure.
She's a very competent skier, so this was just, I think, in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Now, so far in 2021, there have been 3 deadly avalanches in Utah since the beginning of the year. A total of 6 people have died.
That incredible video of another avalanche captured on a snowmobiler's cell phone. This one also happened Saturday in the Uintas and trapped a man, but his brother managed to dig him out of the snow. Check it out.
Avalanche, huge. Just came down. I pulled my chute. Didn't work. I heard Hunter yelling, and here he is.
Incredible video. You can see that man trapped at least a foot of snow. These Draper brothers thankful to be alive. Miles Penrose is the voice you heard there. He says he was snowmobiling in an area he's very familiar with when the hillside came tumbling down. He shared this video of finding his brother, digging him out of that slide. He's in at least a foot deep of snow. Both of these brothers know they got incredibly lucky. Everyone made it out okay, but this was another reminder of the dangerous backcountry in Utah.
And both of those avalanches had 2 vastly different outcomes despite everyone having the proper equipment. So if you get stuck in an avalanche, what gives you the best chance to survive? ABC4's Jared Justini live near Big Cottonwood Canyon with tips from our state's premier avalanche experts. Good morning, Jared.
Good morning. Well, you need all the tools with you because avalanches are unpredictable. More than 30 reported statewide just over the weekend. Joining me live, Craig Gordon with the Utah Avalanche Center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going today?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for joining us. So, you know, it's very important to be prepared. Take a look at this video. This is the snowmobile triggered avalanche in the Uintas. You actually posted this video. What is going on during that scary time?
Yeah. I mean, so this thing is just like a freight train, right? Rocketing down the mountain. It's got an enormous amount of volume. I mean, this is a big, meaty avalanche, right? Breaking to the ground, hundreds of feet wide, and it's taking out the entire season's snowpack.
They were prepared. Did they do everything right in that video?
Okay, so they got the right rescue gear, right? Avalanche, transceivers, shovels, probes, airbag backpacks. That's the good news. The bad news right now, avalanche avoidance has got to be part of our strategy. It's got to be a paramount integrated piece into being out in the backcountry right now, because any avalanche you triggered is going to break deep, it's going to break wide, and as we've seen in the past couple events, a mistake can be devastating.
And then we have video from that tragic, fatal avalanche at Mill Creek. 4 people lost their life. How does this avalanche differ from the one up the Uintas? Everyone was prepared, but outcomes were so much different.
Oh, outcomes are night and day. So in the Uinta avalanche, folks are a little lower on the slope where the avalanche debris fans out, and then in the Mill Creek avalanche, folks are on the slope, but you can see that there's lots of trees down below. So, you know, just a little bit of a difference in terrain, the run out with the avalanche debris, and then just like you mentioned, just a devastating outcome. So terrain plays a big role in this.
We have 30 seconds. Where can folks get gear? I know it can be expensive in some places.
Sure,
there are
sure.
affordable options.
So we've got great local options here, either rentals, Black Diamond Equipment, backcountry.com, places that are homegrown, homemade, and played right here in Utah. And of course, if you got to use avalanche rescue gear, it means that the accident has happened. You got to be prepared. You got to have the gear, but avoidance has got to be part of this. Be armed with the latest advisory at UtahAvalancheCenter.org.
All right, Craig Gordon, thank you so much for joining us this morning. For more information, you can head to our website, abc4.com. Live, Jared Jotnany, ABC4 News.
Jared, thanks so much. Let's get a look at our weather now. Adam, just how dangerous are our mountains right now?
Well, many of them are still in the high category out there, and we're going to show that in just a second. But here are the deadliest 4 avalanches in the history of the state of Utah here. Of course, Saturday's Mill Creek Canyon one. Moab, 1992, February 12th, we also saw 4 deaths. The Provo area in Aspen Grove back in 2003 saw 3 in one avalanche. And then back in 97, we saw at Logan Peak 3 deaths too. So those are the 4 worst that we've ever seen. And unfortunately, with another 4 here on Saturday, we are now at 6 for the season for fatalities, with the only worst year was back in 2007 when we saw 7 deaths, unfortunately, where we still had 10 of 4 seasonal fatalities in terms of 10 different seasons. And then also we had a period where we saw 5 deaths in 6 seasons. So yeah, I mean, we have had some bad years, but this is definitely turning out to be one of the worst. High avalanche danger for the Logan, Ogden, Salt Lake, and western Uinta mountain ranges. So keep that in mind here. If you're heading out in the backcountry, it's really not recommended right now. We still have clouds out there right now. We also have temperatures in the 30s and 40s, but there's a few teens here, sure. Hanksville and Vernal. But overall, we're going to be in the 30s here for the next several hours. And we're also going to see a little bit more in the way of some clear skies out there. But most of what we're seeing in terms of traffic is A-OK. We got a couple of minor accidents here across far northern Utah. One, though, the particular that we're taking note of is this is now open. 5 a.m. they open up that new interchange here, I-15 northbound between 94th and 215 interchange. So keep that in mind if you are heading northbound here from Provo to Salt Lake.
All right, thank you much, Adam. You can count on ABC4 News to bring you the latest developments on those avalanches we're talking about today, both on air and online at abc4.com.
Happening today, middle and high school students in the Salt Lake City district will be able to learn in person. Last month, the school board voted for secondary students to return to in-person learning twice a week. This is the first time these students will be back in a classroom in nearly a year. Parents and teachers will be handing out masks to kids this morning. In other local headlines, Ogden police shot and killed a man Friday night. As of this morning, they haven't been able to identify him. It happened near 30th Street and Washington Boulevard. Officers say a man accused of aggravated assault, sexual assault, robbery, and vehicle theft. When police approached on that report, the man ran away. Officers found his footsteps in the snow, tracked those to a garage where they say the man was hiding in the bed of a truck.
The suspect stood up in the bed of the pickup truck, armed with a handgun. The suspect refused to comply with commands from the officers. 2 Ogden police officers fired their guns. The suspect was struck by the gunfire and died at the scene.
There is body camera footage from those 2 officers. Police say that'll be released at some point in the investigation. Police believe the man is from out of state. Both officers who fired are on paid administrative leave. The Weber County Attorney's Office handling the investigation.
And police shot and killed a man in Kearns over the weekend during a shootout with the SWAT team. This happened Saturday near 60th West and 55th South. Unified police say the man held a gun to his 15-year-old grandson and threatened to kill him. His wife called police, and when officers arrived, they heard multiple shots coming from the home. Police say the wife and grandchildren did get out, but the man refused to surrender. When the SWAT team surrounded the home, the man came out, started firing at police, so they shot back. And ABC4 News talked to one neighbor who saw those gunshots going back and forth.
And all of a sudden you could see the guy pulled out the gun and bow, 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 and you could see the 2 flashes. Had ducked down a little bit, and all of a sudden the police just fired back. And then he just went down.
Now, police say the man died at the scene. No one else was injured. That shooting is under investigation.
New this morning, the U.S. Marshals arrested a wanted man in Davis County over the weekend. Details of that arrest are limited, but we know they captured 35-year-old Dustin Giles Andrus. He's being charged with multiple felonies for rape, sexual assault, and exploitation of victims. He was booked into the Davis County Jail. He's being held without bail.
And also this morning, Utah is seeing a high turnover rate for its state employees. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, low pay and trim benefit packages are forcing many state employees to quit their jobs to find higher pay. And the pandemic isn't helping. Last year, the state legislature cut planned salary bumps. In one example, the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control saw a 36% turnover rate last year. That's more than double the statewide average. Governor Spencer Cox hopes to address compensation needs for those employees in his proposed budget for 2022.
New this morning, a Northern Utah charter school making national headlines for letting parents opt their kids out of Black History Month instruction. Officials at Maria Montessori Academy in North Ogden sent a form last week giving parents that opt-out option. According to the Associated Press, parents are now withdrawing their requests because of significant public backlash. School officials have declined to say how many families requested to opt their children out of Black history education. Data from the Utah State Board of Education shows only 3 of the Academy's 322 students are Black.
A 100-year-old Utah woman got her first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine on Saturday. Miyoko Kiriyama says her younger brother took her to the Maverick Center and she got the shot. She says so far she feels fine and will go back to get her second shot in a month.
She is adorable. Starting this week, people in parts of southern Utah can get a COVID-19 vaccine at Smith's. Smith's Food and Drug says they'll begin giving Moderna vaccines for people 70 and older beginning this Thursday. Those vaccines will be available at 2 locations in St. George and 1 in Cedar City. You can register to get a dose starting Wednesday on Smith's website.
And let's look at Utah's COVID-19 numbers. Utah had 908 new cases yesterday. That brings our state total to 354,000. So far, 413,000 Utahns have received the vaccine. 329 COVID patients are currently being treated in Utah hospitals, and 3 more Utahns have died for a total of 1,736. Over the last 7 days, we're averaging 1,100 new cases a day. Our testing positivity rate now down to 15.6%.
6:12 now coming up on Good Morning Utah. Tom Brady makes history again with a 7th Super Bowl win. We've got a recap after the break. And we're taking a look at the best and worst commercials from last night's game. See which videos were fan favorites.